Hi, my name is Glenn Fink, and I am the author of the upcoming book, The Gospel, God's Great Undoing. It's coming out in the fall of this year, and welcome to my broadcast. So this time, I'm going to talk to you about who's afraid of the Big Bad Bang, or the Big Bang Theory. A lot of Christians are really concerned about the Big Bang Theory, but that's because you don't understand how close it is to the Genesis account of creation. Last time we talked about the importance of creation to the gospel and God's overall plan for the universe, and there are a lot of creation myths that you can consider. Now, a myth is not necessarily something untrue, it's just a story about the early history of people or a phenomenon. Usually it involves supernatural events or beings, and there are a lot of creation myths out there, but not all of them are, well, okay, except for the account in Genesis, they're really mostly crazy. And the Genesis account is really orderly. It's almost scientific in the way it just talks about the first day created light, second day sky, third day land, season, plants, and so on down. It's very matter of fact. It's not poetic at all. It's just a recounting of how God created things. So the Bible's account of creation is different from other accounts of creation. The question is it okay to believe popular science's opinion of the Big Bang Theory and still be a Christian? Can you do that? Well, I would say the best way to look at it is, does it agree with the Bible? And I think the answer is yes, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. So scientists did not like the Big Bang Theory when it first came out. Why? Because they believed in something called the steady state theory, which means the universe is all there ever is, and all there ever was, all there ever will be, and it's always been this way, and it's always going to be this way. It's nice and convenient. That way you can have an infinite amount of time for molecules to man, evolutionism to happen. It could just be forever, so anything could happen in that amount of time. But when the Big Bang model came out and became the accepted model, now all of a sudden there's a time limit. And we have to develop from zero to humans in a certain amount of time. And that's very difficult. What became known mockingly at first as the Big Bang Theory was originally formalized by Belgian Catholic priest, mathematician, astronomer, and professor of physics, Georges Lemaitre. Now, Lemaitre came up with this theory as scientists started to discover back in 1910 that most of the spiral nebulae, which turned out to be the nebulae actually are galaxies. Now we know that, but they didn't know that back then. They were moving away from the Earth, and it seemed like there was a systematic redshift. Everything was moving away from the Earth at top speed. Now, in a steady state universe, that doesn't make sense because everything's supposed to stay, and everything would be gone far away. And that sort of makes the Earth look like the center, and people were a little bit concerned about that. Later in the same decade of the teens, Einstein's theory of general relativity proved that the universe must be either expanding or contracting. There is no steady state solution to Einstein's theory. And the Big Bang means, then, the universe must have had an origin, much like what the Bible describes. In fact, numerous passages in the Bible tell us that God stretched out the heavens. There's passages in Job, Psalms, a lot of them in Isaiah, several in Jeremiah and in Zechariah. They all say God stretched out the heavens. So the picture that the Bible uses is God taking a lot of material and spreading it out like a person pitches a tent. So God gave birth to the universe in a compact form and then expanded it to the size he wanted it to be. When God created the universe, he didn't just move stars through space and galaxies through space. He created space and stretched out space as well. The fabric of the universe is what the Bible calls the heavens. God stretched out the heavens. It's not just the stars, it's the fabric that the universe lives in. So Psalm 104 verse 2 says, "The Lord wraps himself in light as with a garment. He stretches out the heavens like a tent." When you carry a tent, it's all folded up small for travel. But when you erect it, you spread it out and enlarge it to its full shape. So this causes some questions that science is really unable to answer. What caused the Big Bang to happen in the first place? And where did the material come from? You see, it can't create itself, and it can't have always been unless you're saying that matter is the eternal, and everyone knows that matter is not eternal. There was a beginning. Now the Big Bang tells us it didn't happen that way. All the matter was created at once in a hot Big Bang event. That gives us some unanswerable questions from a scientific perspective, but they actually fit really well with the biblical narrative. I believe that God created everything from a rapidly expanding white hole and spread it out. He spread out the stars and the galaxies as he extended space itself. And his fingerprints are left behind as the redshift that we see, the systematic redshift, and the cosmic microwave background. More about those in future videos. Now, why didn't God just create everything like it is right now, in the position it is right now? Why spread it out over time as he did? Well, to understand this, you must understand God's purpose in creating the universe and the heavens. And we'll discuss that next time. So, thank you very much. Next time we'll talk about if the Genesis account of creation is true, how can we see distant starlight billions of light years away? A challenging question. So I hope you like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you are looking forward to my book being released this fall, The Gospel, God's Great Undoing, coming out fall of 2021. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you.